لم يعد كلبها حتى الآن. من يحرس ليلى على الطريق. Assalamu alaikum everybody, and welcome to the Arabic in 60 Announcements channel, where I'm well known for making 12 announcements over the first 30 minutes of every video to talk about the program that I love and have built myself and my students who are the best in the world. So we're going to stop all of those announcements and we're just going to get straight into the meat of it once again, because that's what you want. So let's get into it. Today, this is episode 3, obviously, of LAYLAA wa Dhi'b, and yeah, we've learnt tons so far, and we're going to learn even more today. We're going to do maybe, like 7 lines or something like that of Arabic. Maybe we'll learn another 20 words or something, which is really cool. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. So this is like the second paragraph, I guess. Like the author himself puts kind of the numbers next to them, even though it's our 3rd episode. And it begins, LAYLAA wal ka'ku. So we know that LAYLAA herself, not just a mother, is going to become something to do with the ka'ka in this particular episode, right? Good, so we have فكرت once again. ما معنى فكرت? يعني to think about something. ليلى. So ليلى thought. ثم قالت لنفسها. And then she said لنفسها. Then she said to herself, بنتي ليلى, my daughter ليلى, سبق لها الذهاب إلى بيت جدتها. Very nice. سبق لها is a nice way of saying that something's already happened. What it literally means is it has proceeded for her. It's kind of like saying that, really. And الذهاب is the fa'il, is the subject of the verb سبق. So the going has proceeded for her, meaning she's already been, right? It's something she's already done. That's actually an expression I've only seen a couple of times. Like even the graduates of my program, I wouldn't expect them to choose that wording in their writing. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit flowery than even what I expect my graduates to write. But it's very nice though, and it's fitting for a kind of a fantasy story and stuff. So good. So سبق لها الذهاب. So she's already been. سبق لها الذهاب. The verb سبق actually means to sort of to precede something. السابقون is a term in the Quran for like the forerunners, the earlier ones, right? Good. سبق لها الذهاب إلى بيت جدتها. So saying has proceeded for her the going to the house of her grandmother. Okay, so Layla's already been to her grandmother's house before. This won't be the first time that she's been to her grandmother's house. إنها يعرف الطريق. Indeed she تعرف. Indeed she... Did I say يعرف? Anyway, if I said يعرف, that's how I use it in the masculine. If it wasn't LAYLAA wa Dhi'b, if it was... if it was Sam with Dhi'b, then we could say يعرف, but this is not, it is تعرف, because she's a girl. Good. تعرف الطريق. She knows the way. الطريق يعني the way. Good. عزمت على. Good. So the verb عزمت على, it means she decided to do something. I've never heard the verb عزم used to mean decide without على. You always say عزم على, that she decided to do something. عزمت على أن. I like it. I like hearing prepositions and then n. I think that's just quite nice. I think that's quite nice language. Even with the verb فكر, فكرت في أن. I thought about doing something, right? If you want to put a verb afterwards. I think that's quite nice. And here we have it demonstrated with عزمت على أن. She decided to ترسل, to send ليلى. She decided to send Layla. So I'm not sure the thinking behind this, but on one hand, LAYLAA is like, no, I don't go without telling my husband. And I'm a good, I'm a good wife. I won't leave the house, and I won't sort of I won't disobey him by going out. But the daughter, yeah, get out there, love. Get yourself out there. Take this cake to your grandma through the deep dark woods. Anyway, so she's sending Layla. Okay, we don't know how old Layla is at the moment. Anyway. إلى بيت جدتها, to the house, to her grandmother's house, the house of her grandmother, literally. So she decided to send Layla to her grandmother's house. تحمل إليها الكعكة. So the verb حمل means to carry. تحمل, carrying for her the cake. Okay. Good. What do we have next? الكلب. And then we learn the name of الكلب. وازع. Wazir doesn't sound like a dog's name to me. It's an active participle from the verb waza'a or wazi'a. top of my head. I haven't heard it recently, but it's often used to do with like distributing, like just distributing. For some reason, I kind of associate it with agriculture, like spreading grain and seed and stuff like that when you're planting stuff. Anyway, Wazir, and his name's Wazir. Okay, that's the name of the kelb. الكلب وازع ترك المنزل منذ الصباح. So the kelb left the house. Taraka, we saw the verb taraka previously actually. Al-manzil. Al-manzil is another word for bait. Manzil, it gives me kind of a feeling that it's more like the word home rather than house. Like bait is kind of talking about the building, but manzil is talking about where you have settled, right? Anyway, but it basically means a house. Good. ترك المنزل منذ الصباح. He left the house since the morning, meaning he's been out of the house since the morning, right? The dog went out and hasn't come back. وَلَمْ يَعُدْ حَتَّى الْآن, and hasn't come back until now. لَمْ يَعُدْ, we talked about the verb عَادَ يَعُودُ, meaning to return, and لَمْ يَعُدْ, this is the majzoom. We're using لَمْ يَعُدْ. You can see how we've kind of squeezed the where when the dhamma on the end out of it. يَعُودُ has become يَعُدْ. لَمْ يَعُدْ, he has not returned. حتى الآن, until now. وقد انتصف النهار. وقد انتصف. The term انتصف, the term نصف means a half, but انتصف is often used with times of day, like منتصف الليل, منتصف النهار is like the منتصف الليل is like the midnight. منتصف النهار, excuse me, is midday. But he's not saying منتصف, he's using انتصف. It has reached its half. The nahar, the daytime, has reached its half. Good. هل تنتظر أم ليلى حتى حضر الكلب فيصاحب ليلى في الذهاب إلى بيت الجدة. Good. So هل تنتظر أم ليلى. So should ليلى wait? Should ليلى wait حتى يحضر الكلب. Should the mother of Layla wait until the kelb has reappeared? I don't know why the standard for Layla to go means her husband has arrived, but the standard for the little girl to go is for the dog to have arrived. I don't know the logic, but anyway, I don't know why Layla can't go with the dog. I don't know why that wasn't a concern to go with the dog, but anyway, the dog needs to be there for Layla to go, but the dog has لم يعد حتى الآن. So she's wondering whether she should stay حتى يحضر الكلب, until the kelb has come. فيصاحب ليلى. يصاحب from the verb صاحب, present tense, يصاحب. Many of the connoisseurs among you will have noticed the word sahib. Sahib meaning a companion. To accompany somebody is the verb sahaba. So the dog, فيصاحب, so he can accompany Layla. So the dog can accompany Layla. في الذهاب إلى بيت الجدة. To the جدتي, really. We'll say the T to complete the idafa, but to accompany Layla in the going to the house of her grandmother. Good. Why? ليحرس, to guard. The verb حرس, يحرس. It means to guard. In fact, there's a name, Haris. A Haris is actually a guard, but it's also a name. People can be called Haris. I think it's a nice name. Yeah, Haris. Good. في الطريق. Literally in the path, but it means on the way. في الطريق. Good. Okay. Where did I want to continue? Okay, we're going to continue a little bit more. A couple more lines, inshallah. So, ليلى تخشى. The verb خشية, يخشى. تخشى in this case because it's feminine. She fears. أن يتأخر. She fears that he will تأخر. The kelb, not even the husband. She's afraid the dog will be she's not afraid the husband will be late. She's afraid that the dog will be late. And تأخر. So تأخر is a form 5 verb, تأخر, meaning to be late yourself, right? There's a form 2 verb equivalent, أخر, which means to make something else late. But تأخر is to be late yourself. So أنا متأخر, I'm late. أنا آسف, أنا متأخر اليوم. I'm sorry, I'm late today, right? متأخر. But the verb تأخر means to be late. So she is afraid that الكلب يتأخر. She's afraid that the dog will be late. As if the dog knows. The dog comes in, you're late. Let's carry on. ويضيع الوقت. Okay, good. يضيع. ضاع يضيع, it means to lose, right? So she's losing time, right? The time is passing. فلا يستطيع ليلى أن تذهب ويعود في ضوء النهار. Good. So yeah, فلا تستطيع. So Layla cannot أن تذهب. She cannot to return, cannot to go. She cannot go. وتعود and return في ضوء النهار. In the ضوء. ما معنى الضوء؟ الضوء يعني the light. ولكن ما هو الفرق بين الضوء والنور? What is the difference between the ضوء and the نور? So, you know, when I tell students that ضوء means light, they say, well, what about nur? Nur means light as well, but my understanding of it is ضوء has burning within it somehow. Like we would say the ضوء of like my recording lights here, because there's actually some kind of like electricity burning going on in them. But the nur is often reflected light. It doesn't have to be, but and those definitions, maybe there's like a Venn diagram a little bit of like typically what they mean, but then there's also some crossover in the middle. Yeah, so there is a difference between those. So ضوء النهار would fall in line with what I just said, right? That the light of the day, because the sun actually has burning in it. It's actually a producer of its own light, whereas a nur might not necessarily be. Hence when someone might say to you, like, you have nur in your face, mashallah, it's not really that your face is like producing light. It's that your face is reflecting the light of your iman or the light of your whatever, right? It's reflecting some kind of light. So that's as I say, there is a bit of a Venn diagram. There is some use of nur where it might be sort of sunlight. There is some use of ضوء where it's not quite as strict as that. But typically in the Quran, you know, there are times when Allah will describe the moon as being nur and the sun as being a siraj, for example, being literally a lamp, a siraj. I think actually the word suraj in Urdu means the sun, doesn't it? Suraj. Maybe it's in Hindi. I don't know if it's in Hindi and in Urdu, but I'm sure that is the case, which is kind of interesting as well. Anyway, so that is plenty for today. We have done plenty for episode 3 of our walkthrough series of Layla with Dhib. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and please don't forget to share it with anybody else who you think needs to learn more Arabic and would benefit from this series as well. And then also subscribe to the channel, please. That means the world to me. It makes my family members think I'm less of a loser. It makes my wife believe me that I have a real job if I've got a good number of subscribers. So that really helps. And as per the time of recording this, we are very close to 20,000 subscribers. So it would be an absolutely huge help for me if you would help me just tip us over into 20,000 subscribers. That would mean the world to me. So thank you all so much for being part of it and for listening in today. See you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.